Hello, Click Learners, and welcome to Masterclass 2024 Feature Tours. My name is Marie Lawrence, and I am a Customer Success Manager in our U.S. office. I've been with ClickLearn for over 1.5 years, and I love working with you to strategize and help you to grow on your digital adoption journey. So, what are we working on today? Let's take a look at our agenda. We're going to go through what the some food for thought, some considerations, and what purpose does the feature tour serve? What are those feature tours? And then, of course, we'll answer questions along the way, and if there are any outstanding at the end. Please drop those questions in the chat while we're working together here today. So let's start with that first one. Oh, we have a new feature that serves 3 main purposes, which can be sometimes difficult to overcome in digital adoption. So here are our questions, right? How do we get that last third or those holdouts, right, to adopt our new platform? Another one is how do we help our users to adopt a difficult feature and improve their skills with it? And how do we best onboard new employees and provide them with an overview of their role within our systems? 3 questions that as CSMs we hear all the time, 3 questions that are helped to be answered with the feature tours. Now, in the past, while we've worked with you, we've done a few things. We have worked on improving your recordings to better explain a process, and of course, keeping those materials updated. We have also continuously, you've continuously communicated the value and process of using your digital adoption materials at your organizations. And of course, we've worked on deepening that engagement amongst your managers to enable and encourage your users, right? You still need to do all of those things. Those are still important. But right now, you have another tool in your toolbox, okay? With the user experience panel. Within that, we have it's called the feature tours. With that, you can pull in pieces of or entire recordings and put together a walkthrough, right? So a walkthrough of a feature that people are having difficulty with or a process people are having difficulty with. Provide them with a full onboarding of what does their experience look like while working in our environment. You have 2 modes, 2 options while you're building that. You can use your video, which is best when you have those content blocks and the text to work with. And then the virtual assistant, where you're going to use that when you want them to click through and build that muscle memory for those sequential actions. Now, of course, if those recordings include the PowerPoints or even those annotated screenshots, those will work well within your feature tours as well. So I do wanted to mention that. So without further ado, let's dive on into ClickLearn and take a look at our feature tours. Okay, so here is my project. I need to go into my user experience configuration, and if you are an IFS, it is your User Adoption Center. From there, you are going to, you have 2 choices. We can create our feature tour, which I think we're going to do. Let's do that first, and then we'll get into all the configuration and where you need to add it. So we're going to click here to create our new tour, and we're going to call it Managing Accounts. It does have a limit of 32 characters for that feature tour name, so keep that in mind while you are creating them. And ClickLearn will let you know just in case you start to get a little verbose with your titles. All right, here we go. So it looks like you're creating a brand new recording, just like you would in ClickLearn, except here's the magic. We're going to import, and I'm going to select steps from this recording. I've decided I don't need all of this. And we're gonna do this. All right, we're going to import those steps. And well, I'm giving an overview of managing accounts, so I need to add more steps. So I'm gonna click on that last step that I wanna be able to add the steps to. ClickLearn will add them after that step. So click here, import recording. You can also create a new recording and add steps that way if that's much easier for you. So we're going to go and import recording and use that update customer information and select the steps. And let's see, I want to add this, and I don't need all of this, but I do want to make sure that we say make edits and these guys here. This is important. All right, so we have our steps in here, but we have some editing to do. First, I want to add some sort of text. Before this, I'm going to add a new content block because I need an introduction to my, my tour. So we're going to start out with a video. Here's my text block. And I'm going to say, let's say, welcome to the Managing Accounts tour. Please take a moment to walk through and experience what it's like to manage accounts at, let's say, Click Learn. And we're going to save that. And if you have the AI avatar, this is where you're going to enable that. And if you want to use images, all this other fun stuff, that's in here. Once we've done that, I have all of my text. I'm going to then save my changes. And it added it in there, and it saw it chose video. Now these steps, there's a bunch of steps here. If they're all in a row, I'm going to hold down my shift. I'm going to click on the last step. I'm going to right click and hit edit. And I can select whether I want the assistant or the video. I do want the assistant, so I'm going to click Save Changes. And now, of course, if you'd like to start setting up conditionals, you can. For this example, we're going to focus on the modes of delivery and building your feature tour. And save those changes. Excellent. All right, so it's catching up. So you see here we have that video, and then we can see what the experience is like as we click through each of these steps. Now remember, we still need to build this in a way that people can follow and move through the materials here. Right. Now, we already mentioned use this guide, so I need to edit this text because I pulled it in, and now I'm going to say, yeah, continue on, and we'll show you how to make changes to certain fields within the account's electronic Rolodex. Perfect. And we can still choose, oh, gosh, we're doing text. That means I need to do video instead of the assistant. Here we go. I can choose the assistant if I want, if you want people to be able to read it. That is an option. I just like the video just in case, because I'll have the subtitles, right, because I enabled that, and I'll have that narration. So I like that, just that extra step. So again, AI avatar if you're going to do that, and we're going to click Save Changes. I'm going to click on here, go to my last few steps, right click, and edit. And we're going to select the assistant for all of them and save changes. And again, you know, just remember, just like editing your recordings, you can insert before, you can insert after. It is a little more limited in here because this is a feature tour. If you are giving them a high-level overview of what it's like to work in your environment, you get to mix up the assist with the video and have a more immersive experience. All right. I am ready. If you're ready, you've done all of your editing, you're ready to activate it, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on Activate. I'm going to choose my segments. And for my organization, it's important for everything. But you can choose where your tour shows up. So you can select the context. So is it order process or role center? Is it when they're at customer list or customer card, right? What segment, right? So I have these 3 different segments, but all of these departments are working within the accounts. I want every one of them to know, so I'm just going to keep it as all segments. I'm going to select all contacts because I do not want them to forget, because this is really important to my organization. We've had a few people, not quite getting it. Those little holdouts, right? So here we go. Let's go to notification. We're going to create a notification. I'm going to call it new tour managing accounts. And I just want a subtle pop-up. And from there, we're going to say, please take a few minutes out of your day to view this new tour about managing accounts. There it is. And I don't want it to be site maintenance. I don't need to give it a category. I'm going to unselect that little slider. And the button text, we're going to say start tour, although you can change that to begin tour or start here. Your choice on however you'd like to use that. Then let's see, we've done our title, our placements, and let's see, triggers, it pulled in. So we were configuring our tour. It pulled in what I selected there, which is fantastic, saves me a lot of time. But if I need to make changes, I can do that right here. And then scheduling, I can decide when is this being scheduled for. And right now, I want this to do this time, but you can do a custom date and time just like you can with the notifications within the user experience panel. And we're going to save and close. Now, it'll tell us everything here, and then we're going to activate it. And this takes a few minutes for it to run. The longer it is, the longer it takes for this to happen. So we're going to let this run and think, right? So as ClickLearn does its thinking and it's working, it takes a few minutes like it says. Now, there may become a situation where you need to edit what you've already created inside of your feature tour. At which point, what you're going to want to do is click on that little activate in the top right corner. And then it'll give you, you'll have to click on, I'll show the other button. There's another button you gotta click on, and then you can go in there. Once you've made all your changes, then you can click on that. It's kind of like publishing. So what's cool about the feature tours is once it's already configured within your user experience panel, adding a feature tour, once you activate it, it's out there. It's just when you make changes, here we go, where it's now active, which is fantastic. We're going to complete. If I made changes in here, we're going to click on tour active, change settings, and then we'll have to activate the tour again. That's like the publishing process for the feature tours. So keep that in mind when working with your feature tour. Okay, we're all set here. I have my feature tour. And now I need to make sure I've managed my sources. We're going to come over to our configuration for our user experience panel. We're going to come up here to the top where it says feature sources and just drag and drop that in. Step one. Then you need to configure your tabs. I have my top suggestions tab that I'd like this to be in, so I need to click add sources. Select my feature source, and add my source. And just like anything in ClickLearn, you will need to save your changes. For it to take effect. Good. Now, this is the very, very first time that we have added our feature tour to our configuration of our user experience panel, our user adoption center. What I need to do is reproduce my materials. This can take a while for that to happen. So what I'm going to do is let ClickLearn do its thing and reproduce. And we are going to go on out to check out a feature tour that's already up and running and working. And let that continue and do its thing. So without further ado. going to refresh my page. And here we are. And there it is. So I have an account management tour all ready to go. It's waiting for me. I'm going to click Start. And here we go.
This tour is created to assist you in gaining an overview of account management. Included are creating and updating an account. Please view and participate in its entirety.
All right, so now let's move on to that next step. Oh, okay, so we need to build that muscle memory and get accustomed to working in our environment. As you can see, it's taking me through. And I'm on a form. I think I can use the little arrows while I'm working in a form. So yeah, that's cool. I like being able to easily go through things, but I can also click on that. Oh, looks like we have another video.
Use this guide to make changes to certain fields within the account's electronic Rolodex.
All right, good. And I think this is our next step here. Oh, okay, we're not in the right spot, but that's okay. We can locate that next step. And actually, it looks like it's right there at the top. Okay, so here we go. And we're here. So there is our tour. And then we have our chat. And then, of course, you can see if there's anything else in notifications. I'm going to go back to Click Learn. We have completed. I'm going to go to Next. We're going to publish that as the active version. And then the UXP does its post-production in progress. Those of you working with the AI avatars, it does take some time for that to load up and refresh inside of the user experience panel, right? It uses those tokens. You do need to approve. And we're going to let this keep running. Okay, so now that we've built our feature tour, we've published it, we have configured it, right? If we need to go back and do some tinkering with our tour, it looks like I didn't quite line things up properly, which is why you always test. You'll always want to test your materials for your tours before putting them out there. You know, I was so excited to show you the feature tour that I jumped right ahead without making sure that everything was lined up right. So you'll want to double check those steps, make sure that everything goes the way it should. And of course, just like any and all of your user experience panel materials, you're then going to want to copy and add that to your extension in your browser. And of course, don't forget to check out your dashboard. We don't have content yet on our feature tour. It will be in here, so go on in, check it out, see what people are consuming. This is a brand new project, right? So people haven't really consumed anything just yet, but you'll want to monitor those materials while you're going along, make adjustments and modifications, log in as those different users, right? So we can't wait to see how you use feature tours in our Click Learn community. So be sure to let us know as you're going on your user adoption, your user experience panel, user adoption center journey. Let us know what features you're utilizing, what you love, and of course, if you have any ideas, always drop them in the community under the Ideas tab. So we can't wait to hear from you, and it's been great. Thank you all, and enjoy the rest of Masterclass.